Hi everyone, it's Andy from Hobby Headquarters. Well, I'm back with a review of another great kit that we just received. This is the brand new ultra detailed 1/350 scale Bismarck from Trumpeter. And I was really shocked that we were able to get a hold of these because I had heard that they were going to be delayed a little bit longer, but they are here. They're full of photo etch and some really detailed parts. And it's a Bismarck. It's going to be a popular ship, especially since some of the other kits that are out on the market are a little bit older, and Trumpeter does a pretty good job on their ships. So this one, we're going to tear into this one and take it all apart and show you all the different parts on it. And what I also thought I would do too is talk a little bit more about the Pig Models 1:1 scale tiger shell, which you can see I just finished up mine. And I threw it in the last video when we did the Titanic because I just wanted to give people a little heads up that we have these now. We completely sold out on our website like that, and we've got more coming in. So if you're watching this video, give it a couple of days. We have multiple cases coming in, and they'll be back in on the website at andyshhq.com. But what I'll do is I'll take just a couple minutes, and because I already had people call me and ask me questions about what I did with it here, and just give you a quick little rundown of how we did, because there's some seams that have to be filled and things like that. Minor stuff, but look how cool this is. This is really, really cool. In fact, that's the first thing the last like 10 customers that I walked through the store said, wow, that is a cool thing right there. 4 parts in the kit, so it's technically model building, but more painting than anything else. So what we'll do is, that'll be the first thing we do. I'm just gonna show you quickly what we did on this, and then we'll get into the review of the Bismarck. So, let's get started. Okay, first let's just do a quick little pan of the entire shell here. I just got all of the stencils in place. Okay, we're gonna have to pull back the camera a little bit because obviously this is a very big item. So I've got a brand new one right here, my second one that I'm gonna build up pretty soon, and then the one that we've got completely painted and done up in the stenciling. And the few things I just want to talk about when you go to build, because we're not gonna do a build video of this kit because a lot of it had to be handheld and it's hard to film a lot of that stuff, and it's not a heck of a lot going on with it. First thing I want to talk about is filling the seam and taking the seam out of the shell. So up front here, there's a raised seam, which you guys all know how to take care of a raised seam. That's easy to sand out. But this seam right here is actually got a divot, and it's the way they molded this piece. What I ended up doing was I filled this entire thing with super glue all the way around twice and then sanded it. And I think it actually came out pretty good because the seam is right here and it's gone. We took care of it with the super glue. The super glue worked really good because the super glue dries really hard and you can sand on it well, and it completely filled in the gap. And then as for the shell, and I'm sorry, this is not showing up too well here. There we go. There's just a raised seam all the way down the entire shell. So nothing difficult at all with that. The end cap here, which actually I'll show you, it's got all of the stampings on it. That is, and the primer is a separate piece here too. That just gets glued into place with a little super glue. Glue this onto the bottom right there, and that's your assembly. The shell itself fits in there just tight, just by force, but you want to obviously get all your sanding and painting done separately on it. And then when it comes to the stencils are inside the kit, and here they are right here. Very easy to use those. Now, when it came to the actual, the brass portion of the shell, I shot it with, after I sanded all this down, and we started off with a 240 to get that seam out, hit it with a 4, and finally a 1200 grit to remove the entire seam. And the seam, I don't see it anymore, so I think we did a decent enough job on it. So those were the levels, and we did a lot of wet sanding to really clean that up on it. The actual, like I was telling you, the brass, we shot it with a gloss, to me it's black spray paint. They're gloss paint, sprayed the whole thing down. Then I shot it with the extreme metal from AK brass and did the entire thing. Used an entire bottle on that one, but I think the brass came out really nice. Now they have a bronze version as well that would probably duplicate the like a worn shell that's been sitting in the tank for a little while, but I kind of wanted something a little bit newer looking, so we just went with just the plain brass, as you can see right there. And after we did that, we shot 3 coats of, first I shot a coat of dull coat on it, another coat of dull coat on it, and then a light mist coat of gloss. Then we went and put the stencils on. And the reason we do all that, those extra clear coats, because if you have any overspray on any of the stencils, and I use Tamiya paint on these to get it off, a Q-tip and a little touch of rubbing alcohol will remove any little flubs you have with it. Now keep in mind too, when they were spraying these in the factory, I've seen some pictures of the real shells and they weren't exactly the neatest thing in the world, but we want ours to look pretty good. So like I said, little alcohol will clean it right up. And then after that, we shot 2 more coats of dough coat on, but it's still got enough shine to it, I think, that it makes it have a nice look to it. So that is a complete breakdown. That's how the kit is. And like I said, I apologize that we ran out of stock online. We still have a few left in the store, but online we'll have them back in just a couple of days. They're actually sitting in customs right now, and they should be back in by Monday onto the website. So if you're interested in one, we will have them back up very, very soon. So now let's take a look at the Bismarck. So let's start off and take a look at the parts here. First, show you the whole hull. And one big giant bathtub style hull, except for the front of the bow here is done in a separate piece, and that is so they can get that shape to it. Now we'll take a look at some of the main components that make up the ship after looking at the hull. Give you a nice close-up of all of those. And keep in mind too, Trumpeter does a very good job of protecting all of these parts. All these little fine fiddly parts are all wrapped in foam, then bagged, so everything stays together nicely. That's one of the pieces there. We've got the neck sprue. Oops. This has got our screws, some more of the tenders right here, some more accessory parts. And you get your nameplate, of course. Doesn't say King of the Sea or anything like the Titanic with Queen of the Sea. I won't talk as much on this stuff because I don't know many of the parts or what we're looking at half the time too. I've built a few ships obviously over the years, but some of the terminology escapes me. So I'll kind of just more or less show you the parts and you can see what the quality is on it. Here's some more of the superstructures. And you get 4 of this sprue right here. So obviously these are the parts that make up a lot of the main turrets. So you've got the bottoms, but take a look at the gun barrels. The main guns are all slide molded, as well as the secondaries. So those are all hollowed out right here on the tip. And even a few of these parts right here are slide molded as well. And I'm going to get in real close so you can see all the armament. You got your anchors. Like I said, the main guns. Bottoms of the turrets. And more tenders. So you get 4 of these sprues, so obviously you get multiples of all of these as well. Also show you here, this is just the display stand that holds it up, and then you get 2 of the Arado seaplanes for the thing, and they're molded in completely in clear, and that is so that you can get the cockpit and stuff, you know, clear. You just mask that off, paint the whole vehicle or paint the whole airplane, and you're ready to go. And the last thing we're going to take a look at before we get to the photo etch, actually we have to look at the turrets as well too. They've molded a lot of these little pieces in fine plastic, so those are going to be very fragile, but I think it's going to add some nice detail to the kit. Actually, we'll take a look at the turrets in a second here, but almost forgot to show you the deck. Move down the line here, right to the bow of the ship. In the kit there comes a separate box, and in those boxes are all of these accessory parts that I'm going to open up each one of them and show you right now. That first bag has and finally this little guy here. Next bag has the turrets in it. And I'm going to show you these little tiny parts in the bag, and that's just because I'm really afraid of losing these. If we open up the bag, we're going to end up losing one of them. Now, inside the kit, there is a fair amount of photo etch included. So on this first sprue, we have some of the rails and some of the other accessory pieces. So you can see in there, and some of the steps and ladders, things like that. So you get one of this particular one right here. There are 2 sheets of this size one that's inside, and this one has more of the stairs, the cranes, things like that. A few more of the railings too. So you get 2 of these, 1 of these, and finally you get 2 of this fret of photo etch as well too. So this was going to cover all the rails, which this one's still in the bag, but you can see what it looks like right here. And show you all that, and plus it comes with a little bag of chain for the anchor on that as well. And you also get a painting and marking guide with the decals. Now there are no swastikas in the kit, but well, I shouldn't say that. The swastikas are there, you have to build them up, and they obviously won't show them inside the artwork as well. And one question I get quite often, I'll just kind of show you just a page or 2 of this, is people always ask, what are the instructions like on certain kits and how hard are they? Well, that gives you an idea right there, showing you how some of the parts go together. So they're clearly marked and labeled, so there shouldn't be any problem at all. Well, there you go. There's a quick look at 2 really hot kits right now. If you're interested, the Bismarcks are in stock in my store here in Glendale, Arizona. The shells are in stock in the store in Glendale. The online store, we will have these in. It shows up as pre-order right now on the website, but they'll be in just a couple of days. So it's a pre-order, but it'll be going out really fast. Probably Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. It's just going through some custom stuff. And like I was telling you earlier, these will be back in stock too, that you'll be able to get in on the next run on it. These are very limited right now. It was only brought in a small amount, and they're telling us that the next batch won't be available until late April, early May. That's just what they're telling us right now. So that's for anyone that's interested in buying these. These have a retail of $269. That is strictly just the retail. We sell them for a lot less on our website and in the store. But if you're interested, you can go take a look at our website right now. So I want to thank you guys as always for watching. And please stay tuned because we have many more videos coming.